How are we doing, guys? And welcome back to Best Soccer Coaching Corner. Today we've got a very special guest. It's Mr. Fran Alonso, who is the Celtic FC Women's Manager. How are you doing today, Fran?
I'm good. I'm recovering from from COVID. So yeah, getting there.
Oh, it's good to see you on the mend. So what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking a wee about Fran's career, his philosophy, who he's took inspiration from, his highlights his career, and it's going to give a wee advice for coaches coming up. So just to start off, Fran, can you give us a wee background of your career so far?
Well, I obviously came to England with the dream of being in the best league in the world. I couldn't speak the language, so I have to start from the very bottom. I was cleaning for a couple of years, learning English, learning football vocabulary, volunteering in as many youth teams as I could. I was refereeing for free, doing lineman. Just I wanted to get familiar with the football vocabulary, and I got an opportunity to work for Saints Foundation with kids, and that for me at the time was amazing. And from then, after 3 months, I got a call from the first team manager, Nigel Atkins was at the time, for Southampton, to translate for Gaston Ramirez, Uruguayan player, who was the most expensive sign at the time of the club. And that's how I started. You know, it was amazing for me being able to translate all the tactical information, access to the changing room with all these top players, access to match day, traveling with the hotels, everything. So I started to learn the professional culture of the highest level. After that, Mauricio Pochettino came to Southampton, and that was obviously I thought I lost my job, because he doesn't need a translator. He speaks Spanish better than me, but he liked me for some reason and gave me the opportunity to be his technical staff. So since then, obviously it was an unbelievable experience, an unbelievable career for me in terms of learning opportunities from top coaches. Then Mauricio went to Tottenham, but Southampton was going to appoint Ronald Koeman. I was always, in love with the positional play of Johan Cruyff, this Barcelona dream team, and I know Koeman was a key part of this, so I was desperate to learn from him. So I stayed Southampton, was with Koeman again, amazing time. We beat for 3 seasons in a row, 1 with Pochettino and 2 with Koeman, the record in terms of point and position on the table at Southampton. So the 3 most successful years together, apart from the FA Cup that Southampton won. And amazing opportunity. Then obviously Koeman went to Everton, and then I went with him. So that's my experience at the top of the main game. Alongside all these years, obviously I was learning from these guys a lot, but I needed to put it into practice as a manager. What they, their man management, their individual meetings, which sometimes I have to translate to players. So all these opportunities to how to try to individual develop a player, etc. So I decided to volunteer at the same time. So I was at Southampton Women, I was at Everton Ladies, I was at Liverpool Vets, another club in Liverpool while I was at Everton. And then after that, I went to Lewis for 13 years. Oh, sorry, 13 months. and after, not 13 years. I'm not that old yet. and after Lewis, I got the opportunity to come to Celtic in a brand new professional team, full time, which it was something I really wanted to get involved. And I came here. Everything went amazing until obviously COVID started. So that's a quick summary of my career to date.
That's some journey, but like if you're talking about like the likes of Koeman and Pochettino, I know personally I've taken a lot of my coaching style off of Pochettino. It's just phenomenal the fact that where you've started and where you've built up to now. It's a credit to yourself and a credit to how much hard work you've put in. Just a wee break for the video, guys, to mention our sponsor today. Our sponsor's K-Mac Plasterers. Best plasters in Glasgow. Definitely go get them checked out. The links will be in the description. Make sure you check them out, guys. And it's phenomenal. So obviously you're talking about working with like Koeman and Pochettino. Have they helped develop your coaching philosophy and your coaching style, or was it other coaches that you idolised that you took bits and bobs from that helped create the style that you have today?
I think our obviously I love to have mentors for everything in life. I think is great to have. It helps you to keep grounded, to keep your feet on the ground. And also, you can learn from absolutely everyone. But I got these people that probably mark my life. First, obviously, as a fan, it was Johan Cruyff was one of them. The style that he brought from Holland to Barcelona. That team, the way they play football. Before that, probably was Brazil with Socrates and the way they play football. I was always in love. With attractive way, not only play football and win, about the way you play. For me, the way you play is key. For me, if we win and we don't play well, I'm never happy. We have to play well and win. Otherwise, I'm not fully happy. So that was probably Johan Cruyff, the first one. Obviously, the Spanish national team. We all Spanish fall in love. The way we play, obviously. It have to do as well with Guardiola's Barcelona and this philosophy, especially the pressing side, pressing going forward instead of dropping, which is very, very clever and very impressive to see. So that's probably as a spectator what inspired me more. Then obviously, since I work in football, I would say the four key elements of my life were Mauricio Pochettino, Ronald Koeman, Sammy Lee, who I have the honor of work at Everton and Southampton both, and then Sam Allardyce, which, British manager. When Everton appointed him, I wasn't looking forward to work with him because of what the media was saying, and then in 2 days with him, I got blown away of, how amazing manager Sam Allardyce is. I was very, very impressed the way he deals with the staff, with the players. I believe he's very clear about his philosophy. You might agree or disagree, but the way he look after players, he look after staff, he look for you to improve as an individual, regardless of your positioning in the organization, is really, really impressive. And yeah, so that's the four people probably that mark my career the most. Seeing them work every day. Was 6 years in the Premier League. Every single day, one session. Imagine every single day, one session of these guys. It's like a world-class, podcast every single day. I consider myself very, very lucky individual to be able to have seen these guys work and these guys improve players. If you think, Luis, when Mauricio Pochettino started to work at Southampton, we got one international player. One. After 6-7 months, we got 8. So imagine the impact that not only as a team but individually he made in that team. So that's probably the mentors I have so far. That you might know. I have another mentors, but obviously people that are not famous or anything like that, just inspire me in different ways.
That's the thing. Like, see, if you're looking at the different types of coaches you've just mentioned there, between like Koeman, Pochettino, Sammy Lee, and Sam Allardyce, it's 4 very much different types of coaches that you can pick something off. Obviously, if you're looking at Pochettino and Sam Allardyce, 2 very different coaches. Sam Allardyce is very, very known for his English character, the way he's in the media, and quite a lively character, whereas Pochettino, I feel, thinks more about the game and he reads more into the game. He tries to understand more. That's not saying that Sam Allardyce doesn't, but from my perspective, that's something that I've always admired about Pochettino, is he delves really into the game and he prepares for every single situation. So as you were talking about earlier on, we were talking about COVID, and obviously it's a big thing just now. What have you felt like in your career has been some of the big challenges? Obviously currently we've got COVID, but before, what's been the biggest challenges? Has it been maybe developing your style, or maybe confidence with coming into coaching, anything like that?
Well, obviously a career that reached to the highest level of football, which I was lucky to, is full of challenges every single day. So I had many, many challenges. The first one I had is obviously the language. I couldn't speak a word of English. I was living in Germany before, so I came to England with decent German, but no English at all, not one word. So that was the first challenge, and a big one. Obviously, you have to, find a job, very difficult. So that was huge challenges. Then adapt to a new culture, from Spain, weather, food, family, friends. to come to a place where, you know, the weather is so different, the food is so different, the culture is so different, even the times what you eat is so different. So it take
the
a
weather's
while.
probably the worst point, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it got even worse in Scotland. So,
Yeah, I know.
yeah, definitely. So that was probably the biggest challenge. And then obviously in football, these guys has been, you know, the guys we talk about, Pochettino or Ronaldo, you know, they've been at the highest level of football. I mean, you know, Ronald Koeman was potentially, you know, he won the European Championship of the clubs of nations with Holland. I mean, he has won everything. So these guys know the professional game better than anyone. And I am there, but I don't know anything about the professional game. So obviously I have to learn as we go. So obviously, you know, I make so many mistakes, which obviously they help me to correct, sometimes in a nice way, sometimes in a not so nice way, but I learned so much from them. So that was a challenge daily, because in football, little details matter a lot. The hours we work were, you know, unbelievable. So we got there 8 o'clock in the morning, especially with Pochettino, we didn't leave until 8:30 every single day. So it's 12, 13 hours every single day. Maybe some weeks one day off, but then we qualify for Europa League and there is no day off. So it's very, very challenging. So unless you absolutely love what you do, it's impossible to survive in professional football. You need to love it. Because it's you know, so demanding. So yeah, it's very challenging in terms of time, sacrifices you have to do outside football. In terms of, you know, obviously your own time is very, very limited. In my case, it was even worse because I have to look after Gaston, a player, on my free time, because, you know, obviously he needed to perform. So I was helping him with his, you know, buying furniture or you know, insurance or paperwork. So it was quite hard. So that was the biggest challenge. And, you know, obviously, for example, if you think about Koeman, the first year at Everton, we qualified for Europa League. After the previous 2 seasons, the team finished 12th, so it was a great achievement. The next year, you know, in a few games, we got a very, very tough schedule in a few games, and then he gets sacked. Suddenly, from being right at the top, suddenly he gets sacked. So football, you know, you have to, you know, there is no memory. You know, it's a very result-based business, and you need to win every single game if you can. So the pressure that comes with it is huge, especially when you are a coach. If you are a member of a staff, a physio, or, you know, you are a little bit more settled because managers come and go, but you stay there. But the coaching team, it normally goes. So, you know, you are playing, you are working every day towards you know, to stay in the job. So it's quite challenging, but at the same time it's beautiful, and you see these, you know, fans, players, society, when you do well, how they are happy every day, how they, you know, it's unbelievable. It's a very, very rewarding experience, but it could be very hard as well. So that's probably the biggest challenge I face, me personally.
That's about, you were saying there as well about the mentality and obviously the hard work. It goes to show, obviously, that from your career alone, is that if you're putting in the hard work pays off. Because look at the career that you've had and how the levels that you've got to. And that's something that anybody that's watching this as a coach or an athlete, I hope they can take from that. It's a wee bit of inspiration from yourself, is how well that you've managed to build up and get to the level where you are just through hard work and love of the game. And that's something that certainly from meeting you and having done a wee bit of coaching with you, that's something I've certainly taken into my game, is an inspiration from it of how you need to be so involved in the game and how hard work is going to push you to these levels. So obviously you're talking about Everton with the Europa League and how Southampton done so well. What would you say is probably one of the biggest highlights of your career, or a few of the highlights you've had so far?
I have a few, to be honest. Coming to what you say, I believe, yeah, hard work is very important. I have no skill. I have no better skills than you and than any other guy. I'm a very normal guy. I'm not, you know, extremely clever. I don't have anything. What I have is I absolutely love with passion what I do. So for me, spending 16 hours in developing myself or whatever it is, I just love it. I do it as a hobby. So for me, the enthusiasm and the passion is probably the biggest skill, if you want, I got. So hard work is important, but it's even more important that it's good work rather than hard is good. But yeah, as I said before, if you are not 100% passionate about what you do, if you don't do this, I would do it for free. Well, don't promise that. Yeah, but
Don't
you
need
know,
the wages.
that's how much you have to love it. So yeah, sorry, I just came back to that question. What you asked? What was the?
So just talk about the highlights of your career so
yeah.
far and what you've been through.
Yeah, so I got many. The first one, obviously, when I first start translating from underage on a Tuesday. On the weekend, we play Swansea with Nigel Atkins, and I was there on the bench with the guys that I've been seeing in TV all year, translating for Gaston, only Nigel and me in the changing room. My legs were like shaky. It was very, very unbelievable. Then probably the second highlight was the first game of Pochettino in charge. We played Everton actually at St. Mary's. So I was there on the bench sitting just beside Mauricio, and you know, I turned, I saw the fans, and you know, I got goosebumps. It was unbelievable. We only draw that game, but the experience, I take it with me forever. So that was probably, and then you know, obviously the end of the season, this lab you do with the fans when everyone, especially the 3 years I'm talking about, the 3 with Southampton and even the first one with Koeman at Everton. That last lap where you feel the fans, because it was 4 very successful seasons. That for me, that's why I'm a coach. You know, it's not about me, it's not about my salary or my lifestyle. It's about how many people can you impact with the work, with the quality of your work, or with the quality of what you do. And when you see this, you know, a full stadium, all, you know, happy, singing, that's for me, it's a highlight, and I take it with me. That's probably, of course, winning the league with Southampton women, my first league, you know, with a team that was bottom of the league the year before. We didn't relegate just because one team folded, otherwise we would have got relegated. And the next year, straight away, winning the league in the same competition, only losing 1 game. That was as well unbelievable. So I got a few. Thankfully, I got so many amazing memories, and I got a few as well, fall downs and a few low moments, but definitely the amazing moments overran the bad ones.
That's phenomenal. Just with the fact to talk about the Southampton one, like going from relegation to go win the league, that's unbelievable. And obviously you're talking about how it gives back to the fans. That's something like I'm looking forward for my career. I want to get to the top level, and I'm ready to put the work in to get to professional level, so I can give something back. And as you're saying, so you can have that impact on so many people, it must be so rewarding.
It is because when you do so, one thing is happiness. You might find happiness in almost everything what you appreciate in life, but one thing is happiness, one thing is fulfillment. So you can only feel fulfilled when you affect the life of others. And I know football, some people it's just football. Well, you know, whether you consider it right or wrong, but so many people are so passionate about football, and their week is better when their team is doing well and is winning. Just because you don't need to give excuse why you are happy, but you are happy. There are some, I remember when Maradona passed away, unfortunately, a while ago, and people didn't understand why, you know, why people is, you know, so upset, you know. Well, Maradona make so many people, he came from a very, very humble, even from poverty. So he makes so many people of this area believe, you know, they believe that a different life is better. So, you know, who are we to just the reason why people are happy or passionate? So, yeah, for me, anything that you can change the life of others in any way for a better, of course, then, you know, I think that will give you fulfillment, and that lasts much more than happiness. So at least is the way I see life. We are social animals. We survive until now because we weren't stronger as some of the animals we face, or as fast, but we have the ability to work in groups. And while you were sleeping, I was doing surveillance, so, you know, spotting danger. So that's why. So I think anthropologically, we are designed to work in groups, to work in teams, and our happiness comes from this, from changing other people's lives. That's what I believe.
It's like that's a great view of football, and it's a great way to describe why you're doing the job you're doing and how you're doing it so well. It's not for the fact of your own gain; it's for helping other people, and it's a testament to yourself. And it's a really good way to describe the way that you love the game. One last thing before we head into the next bit about the coaches is, how have you felt the lockdown has affected football? Personally as well, how you've dealt with it?
That's a very tough one. The first lockdown, obviously, every single league in Europe stopped, and we knew it's something that we have to do. So it wasn't as hard. We have to take it. We have to do it. Thinking about others, and obviously we tried to do as good as we could at the time. I didn't find it extremely hard. Obviously, you are not doing what you love, so that's always not nice. But now this, especially here, being in Scotland, I'm struggling. I'm struggling a lot. Every other league is running. Ireland starting to train. In England, first division, second division still running. In Spain, second division, full of part-time teams, is running. And here, first division with 2 Champions League spots, not allowed to train. It's very hard. I don't make decisions, and I respect the decisions, but when my players ask me why we stop, I don't know. I really don't know. Or I know why we stop, but I don't know what every other league is doing that we are not, so they can carry on training. We have professional players who are doing absolutely nothing. I mean, their own work, but they are doing nothing. Thinking about, especially, we got a lot of foreigner players. We already lost 3. 2 Spanish girls stay in Spain, 1 American girl. Because in any other league, they can go and they can play. It's just here in Scotland. So yeah, we are losing talent. Obviously my position is I'm very frustrated. I'm struggling to justify to my players why it's only here. Is testing what we need to do. Is what we need to do rather than we stop. Well, it's difficult to take when it's only you. So I find it difficult, and the players are finding it very difficult as well. So this second lockdown is been hitting us harder, I would say. So yeah, hopefully we can get back early. Just thinking as well about mental health. It's not even about competing about the league. About it's about mental health. It's about being able to do what you love to do, and about have a purpose. At the moment, our purpose is just stay at home and try not to spread the virus, which is still, I got it by post.
But that's me. It's a good point there. You're saying that obviously going back to saying about why you do the coaching and it's to give something back. And as you're saying, it affects someone, the result that happens at the weekend. So imagine how the people are feeling just now at the fact that they can't go to the games to see it. They have to stay in the house and watch it. They can't even socialise and maybe get a difference of opinion and stuff like that as well. But as you're saying with the players, obviously your players are having a big effect with it, not being able to train. And it's a crazy time we're going through just now. And as you're saying, mental health is a massive thing. That's something that we talked about last time about mental health with my last coach. And we're just talking about how much mental health is important just now. And if there's anybody that's watching this that knows me, if they need anything at all, they can always come and speak to me as well. And it's always try to be open to help everybody out there. It's a tough time, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, that's obviously you are avoiding some issues, but at the same time you are creating others. I don't know if we are doing things right, and in any other league they are doing it wrong. I don't know. I am no one to judge that, but it's very difficult to take when you are the one that they stop, the only one that they stop. As I say, and with 2 Champions League spots, we're supposed to be one of the strongest league in Europe, and we are the only one that they stop. So obviously, Scottish-based players, they are at home. Any foreigner, in my aspect, I am thinking, okay, I'm here, close in a flat in a new country. I'm not allowed to do what I love. I sign players, promise them something about their development, and I cannot fulfill that. I cannot achieve that because I'm not allowed to train them. Very hard to take. Definitely, we might be helping to protect, but it's not helping our mental health, and I include myself on that as well.
It's a tough time, certainly. Just before we end the podcast here, would you have any advice for any young coaches coming through, or any coaches that are maybe they're hitting a stagnant, they're struggling just now, or coaches that are struggling to find their style of play and their philosophy? Any advice for them?
The first thing I would say is, like I remember when I was with a team of under-9s, for me, it's like I was already participating in a World Cup. Like I train them with the same passion than if they were like already fully pro. The same passion doesn't mean I put the same pressure on them. It was all about, trying to enjoy the way we play, trying to find a way that we are proud of what we do. So the first thing is, as I said before, for any young coach is, find the passion. What you are passionate about? It's about being the manager, about, your own style. It's about being the coach and just help the manager or whoever about developing. It's about, just being in a team, not necessarily coaching, but being involved in the day and day and motivating. Find your passion, find what you have come to do to this life. And then after that, obviously, try to think what it moves you. You cannot improve a team if what you are telling, you don't believe it. So if I tell you, we play that way, and I don't believe it, it's like selling. You don't sell a product that you think is a bad product. You have to first believe it, and then you can inspire people with this. And successful teams is a group of people with common goals, beliefs, that are set normally by the manager, or sometimes by the club. The philosophy already there, and they just bring a coach that can enforce that and can adjust to that. But yeah, for me, it's about what moves you. In my case, obviously, it's the football that I love to see, that I love to play. When I was a kid, that's the way we play. I started to play at 6 years old in concrete futsal. So you learn to, all the time to have the right body shape, to release quickly, because if you get tackled in concrete, you don't want to fall down.
It's not going to be a good one, is it?
Yeah. And also another thing is obviously concrete. If you hear in UK, sometimes it's tough, very muddy pitches, bubbly pitches, long grass. It's so difficult to play along the ground. You have to go a little bit direct because it's impossible. You cannot play quick because you need to put the eyes on the ball to see where the ball is going, because it's irregular. In concrete, once the ball leaves the feet of your teammate, your head can be up because you know where the ball is coming. That helps to move quicker the ball. So, basically, see what you love, see what you will feel that you can inspire people with, and it might be that you are better being a coach than a manager, rather than take all this pressure. Maybe it's all about it depends how you think you can contribute more. But yeah, definitely find your way, find what inspires you, and that way you can inspire others. And then obviously I would say work hard, but when you love what you do, it's not really that you are working hard, it's just you are doing what you love. That's why you don't mind do 16 hours a day, because when you got a day off, that's exactly what you do, and that's what I do as well. But that was probably my advice to young coaches: do what you love, feel inspired, and that way you could inspire others.
Brilliant. That's absolutely amazing advice. It's advice that I'm going to take on board as well. Can I just say thank you very much today for coming on, Fran? Obviously, everybody in the podcast, everybody watching, wish you success in the future, and hopefully we can get back to play football soon, and we can get back in the training pitch and hopefully see winning more games and winning more trophies. So cheers again, Fran, for coming on.
No problem, Luis. It's a pleasure. And hopefully we can come back to do what we love soon, and we can hopefully have a chat in a different scenario.
Aye, hopefully. But thanks again, guys. Stay tuned. We've got another couple of podcasts coming up in the next couple of weeks. But for now, that's us, and I'll see you later on, guys.